The case solved by the victim's own ghost. In the small, freezing town of Greenbrier, West Virginia, in the winter of 1897, a mother woke up amidst a strange dream. Before her stood the image of her daughter, who had been dead for several weeks. The girl offered no greeting, no tears. She simply looked directly at her mother and said, "I didn't die of a heart attack. I was murdered." That was the beginning of a true crime story, a rarity in American history. A murder case solved by the testimony of the victim's ghost. The unusual death of Zona Hester. The story began in January 1897. Zona Hester Shue, a beautiful and healthy 23-year-old woman, was discovered motionless at the foot of her home's stairs by a local boy sent on an errand, who immediately ran to notify her husband, Edward Shue, a local blacksmith. When the local physician, Dr. George Knapp, arrived, he found the body already redressed and arranged by Edward. She was lying neatly, her neck tightly wrapped in a bright, colorful scarf. Edward claimed his wife died of a heart attack, a plausible explanation at the time. No one suspected foul play, and the funeral was quickly held. But Zona's mother, Mary Jane Hester, did not believe it. The recurring dreams following the funeral, Mary Jane could not find peace. Every night she dreamt of her daughter returning. Initially it was just a blurry silhouette, but then Zona appeared clearer each day, her face pale, her voice trembling. In the fourth dream, Zona stood by her mother's bed and recounted everything. She said Edward flew into a rage simply because she refused to eat meat during dinner. In his fury, he choked her and broke her neck. He then staged the scene to look like a fall down the stairs. Mary woke up, her hands cold. The dream felt too real, as if Zona herself was crying out for help from the other side. And she decided to do the unthinkable. She reported to the prosecutor that "My daughter's ghost told me she was murdered." The shocking exhumation. At first, prosecutor John Alfred Preston dismissed Mary as a grieving mother. But when he questioned Dr. Knapp, things began to unravel. The doctor confessed that he had not genuinely examined the body because Edward became highly agitated, refusing to let anyone touch his wife. He had merely glanced at her and concluded it was a sudden death from heart failure. Furthermore, townsfolk reported that at the funeral, Edward constantly hovered around the coffin, preventing anyone from getting near Zona's neck. He even placed a pillow and silk scarf around her neck, claiming she likes it that way. Given these strange signs, the prosecutor ordered the body to be exhumed for a proper autopsy. The result shook the entire region. Zona's neck was completely broken. The bone was dislocated between the first and second cervical vertebrae. Her windpipe was crushed. Clearly, she had been choked to death. The case was immediately reopened, and Edward Shue was arrested. The trial of the ghost. At the trial, newspapers and people flocked from everywhere. It was dubbed the Greenbrier Ghost Case, the most famous ghost trial in American history. The prosecutor relied only on forensic evidence, but everyone knew the initial suspicion stemmed from Mary's dreams. When called to testify, she was asked if she had truly seen her daughter's ghost. She calmly replied, "I saw my child as plain as I see you now," and she told the truth. The courtroom fell silent. Though the court could not officially admit the testimony of the dead, the physical evidence precisely matched what Zona had revealed in the dream. The neck injury, signs of strangulation, Edward's deceptive behavior. During the 8-day trial, Edward defended himself, claiming, "Everyone is persecuting me," but failed to provide a rational explanation. After only an hour of deliberation, the jury convicted him of first-degree murder. Edward was sentenced to life in prison at Moundsville State Penitentiary, where he died in 1900. The legend lives on. The story of the Greenbrier Ghost quickly spread across America, not only because of the supernatural element, but because it is the only case in history solved by the words of the dead. Today, along Route 60, a historical marker stands tall. Engraved on it are the words, Zona Heestershoe, the woman whose spirit helped convict her murderer. Truth and belief. From a scientific perspective, Mary may have simply had a powerful coincidence. Her subconscious picked up on something her conscious mind overlooked. But there are also those who believe Zona's spirit truly returned, bringing justice for herself. What is the truth? No one knows for certain. But the Greenbrier case still reminds us that sometimes, on the thin line between science and belief, there exist things that humanity cannot yet explain. And perhaps justice always finds a way back, even from the other side.